People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Remember when Sheryl Swoopes said this? DeWanna Bonner has finally broken her 6-month Twitter silence. But she didn't just drop a casual, hey, I'm back tweet. Oh no, she made a statement so bold, it rattled the entire WNBA. Not only is she officially joining the Indiana Fever, but she's also dismantling one of the league's most worn-out, unfounded narratives. The claim that Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever fans are toxic. That narrative? Gone. Destroyed.
This WNBA offseason killed a lot of narratives, right? It really did. And I hope they're gone for good. And I hope we spend so much less time discussing nonsense. But I think we've seen it stamped out this offseason. And one of those narratives was people wouldn't want to go to the Fever because of the Fever fan base.
You might be thinking, hold up, isn't this the team everyone loves to hate? The one players are supposedly dodging? Well, Bonner's not here for that. She saw the nonsense coming from supposed legend Sheryl Swoopes, the never-ending social media drama, and the same old tired talking points. Instead of staying silent, she's stepping up to set the record straight.
To all the crazy people on social media basically calling her every name under the sun because she chose to play in Indiana. These are the same people that are like, oh, she'll never play in Indiana for obvious reasons. And she went and defended the Indiana fans and was like, talking about, she was basically like, talking positively about the fans that were interacting with her positively, and was responding to one of the crazy posts about her being like, I'm getting screenshots of things you were saying about me. Can you just stop?
Picture this. Bonner casually scrolling through her phone, likely enjoying a peaceful moment, when she comes across yet another wave of misinformation, fans wondering why she'd join Indiana, analysts still holding on to the outdated belief that no one wants to play for the Fever. Instead of brushing it off, Bonner did something way more impactful.
It goes to show you that I think hopefully all that stuff has been put in the rear view, and of course Bonner is a pro.
She didn't just respond, she shut it down with one flawlessly crafted tweet. It wasn't just about defending herself. She went all in for Indiana Fever fans. She basically said, y'all are loud, passionate, and real. That's not toxic. That's what true fandom looks like. And just like that, the conversation was over.
I don't get on here often because this app is insanely too much sometimes. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the love I've received so far. Deaf, not unnoticed. The love is real.
But she didn't stop there. Bonner called out the hypocrisy, shining a light on the double standard and how fan bases are treated differently. Why is it that when fans from other teams show passion, it's called support, but when Indiana Fever fans do the same, it's suddenly an issue? And why is it that when the Fever start winning and getting national attention, all of a sudden, the haters have a problem with the fans? Bonner wasn't just making a personal statement, she was calling out the league-wide bias that shadowed Indiana ever since Caitlin Clark stepped in.
She's gone online for 2 times. One is to call out the crazy people attacking her right now because she joined the Fever.
This isn't just about fan reactions, it's about respect. Something Indiana Fever fans and players have been denied for way too long. And Bonner? She's done letting the lies slide. What makes this even more powerful is that Bonner isn't some young player chasing attention. She's a legend, a multi-time WNBA champion, and one of the most respected figures in the game. When she speaks, the entire league pays attention. This isn't just another player venting on social media. This is a seasoned veteran, someone who's lived through different eras of WNBA history, stepping up to call out the nonsense and stand up for her new team.
You know, Fever fans are probably starving for that. And I think seeing the validation of the players choosing their team.
Bonner made it crystal clear. Indiana isn't some struggling franchise just trying to stay afloat. With Caitlin Clark at the helm, the Fever are building something special. They're not just aiming to be competitive, they're coming for the top teams in the league, and Bonner is all in on that mission. She's not just joining Indiana, she's becoming part of a movement.
And it's funny because if you're seeing like DeWanna Bonner, if you're seeing like Natasha Howard, on social media, Natasha Howard's posts are getting 100 times more likes, and DeWanna Bonner's been reacted more positively probably than she ever has been in her career.
And the best part? The response to her tweet has been huge. Indiana Fever fans are backing her like never before, and the same people who swore nobody wanted to play for Indiana, they're all of a sudden silent. Sheryl Swoopes? Nowhere to be found.
What it do, peeps? Sheryl Swoopes is been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is MIA. They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
Now, all that's left is to watch the haters scramble to rewrite history. They'll act like they never claimed Indiana wasn't a desirable team. They'll pretend they weren't downplaying Caitlin Clark's impact. But at this point, it's too late. The Indiana Fever have already won the battle off the court, and now they're gearing up to take it to the court too.
That thank you from DeWanna Bonner, being olive branch to us all to focus on the basketball. But I did think it was worth sharing simply because I know a lot of those fans, the new fans, felt rejected and beaten down a lot. And I think this is symbolic.
DeWanna Bonner, Caitlin Clark, and the Fever aren't just putting together a team. They're rewriting the future of the WNBA. And if the rest of the league isn't paying attention yet, they'll be forced to soon. You've probably heard all the noise about the Indiana Fever fan base, right? The narrative that their fans are supposedly toxic or too intense, and that players are supposedly dodging the team because of it. Well, let's be real here. That storyline fell apart quicker than a bad defensive rotation. And you know who kicked this whole mess off? Alyssa Thomas? Yep, Bonner's own wife was out here stirring the pot, claiming that Fever fans were so unbearable, players wanted nothing to do with Indiana.
In my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media.
Here's the plot twist. Despite all that noise, star players aren't running from the Fever. They're running toward them. DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and Sydney Colson didn't just sign with the team. They embraced it. These aren't just role players looking for minutes on a struggling franchise. These are battle-tested veterans and high-impact stars who saw all the headlines about a so-called bad fan base and still said, yeah, I want to be part of that.
No argument that the Fever are a great basketball destination, that Caitlin Clark is a great basketball.
Let's talk numbers, because, as always, they don't lie. Indiana Fever fan engagement is off the charts. We're talking sold-out arenas, merchandise flying off the shelves, and social media interaction hitting record highs. This isn't some struggling franchise barely hanging on. This is a team that's become the pulse of the WNBA, and at the heart of it all is Caitlin Clark. She's not just attracting new fans, she's turning casual viewers into die-hard supporters.
The Fever fan base, being painted with this broad brushstroke, was always just stupid, really. There's no other word for it, because Caitlin Clark brought more fans to the league than it's ever seen. So many of them are Fever fans, and the new fans that come in outnumber the old fans that were already there. You don't want to tell those people they're unwelcome.
Think about how absurd this all sounds. Just a few years ago, Indiana was written off as an afterthought in the WNBA. Now, they're the hottest ticket in town. It's like judging an entire restaurant off one bad Yelp review. It just doesn't make sense. The reality is, Every team's got a few bad apples in their fan base. That's just sports. But to act like Indiana's supporters are some kind of exception, that's just reaching. So what's really going on here? Why are people so quick to attack Fever fans? The answer's simple. Because Indiana is winning. Not just on the court, but in the fight for relevance, attention, and influence. They're no longer an afterthought, and that makes some people uneasy. Instead of acknowledging that Indiana Fever fans are the heart of something special, the haters would rather push this weird, baseless narrative that players don't want to play there.
And a lot of fans, I think, felt unwelcome as a result of that, because when you look at every sport and every fan base, there are going to be bad apples. With every group of people, there are. And the larger that group becomes, of course, then the larger the small percentage of bad apples are. But if you've ever followed sports, you see people acting stupid online or even live at games.
And yet, reality paints a different picture. If Indiana Fever fans were really that bad, why are top-tier players lining up to sign contracts? Would DeWanna Bonner, a multi-time champion, choose to finish her career in a place where she felt unwanted? Would Natasha Howard, a former Defensive Player of the Year, commit to a team with a toxic culture? The answer is clear. These players see something the haters refuse to admit. The WNBA landscape is shifting, and Indiana is right at the center of it. Just a year ago, people laughed at the idea of the Fever being a desirable destination. Now, they're scrambling to figure out how everything changed so fast. Caitlin Clark isn't just a generational talent. She's a headline magnet, a sellout machine, and the kind of player who makes a franchise relevant overnight.
What A'ja Wilson just did was unprecedented. I mean, on so many levels. She's arguably, allegedly, the reason Caitlin Clark was assaulted the entire 2024 basketball season in the W. I mean, what A'ja Wilson just did is really like, there's no coming back from this.
A'ja Wilson's squeaky clean, positive vibes only persona just took a massive hit. And honestly, it's about time people started noticing the double standard. For months, she played the role of the calm, collected veteran while her fans were waging war on Caitlin Clark over the Nike signature shoe deal. But now, the truth is out. During the reveal of her highly anticipated shoes, A'ja casually dropped a bombshell. She'd had a Nike signature deal in the works for 2 years. 2 entire years, all while her fans were out there demanding justice, accusing Nike of blatant disrespect, and painting Caitlin as the undeserving rookie golden child. A'ja's deal was already locked in, and yet she kept quiet. She said nothing while her supporters created chaos.
Wilson was oddly silent, but complicit. All right, why was she complicit? Because, well, she knew she was getting a signature shoe for 2 years, and she let Caitlin Clark take all that hate.
Let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Social media nearly exploded when Nike announced that Caitlin Clark would be getting a signature shoe. The big question on everyone's mind was, how could they give her one before A'ja? That became the rallying cry. And where was A'ja in all of this? Silent, calm, strategic. She threw out a few cryptic tweets about respect, kept her followers guessing, and allowed the chaos to build. She knew exactly what people were saying. She saw the narrative unfolding, and she did nothing to stop it. Remember when she said this?
A'ja Wilson is her name. Quote, "It doesn't matter what we all do as black women, we're still going to be swept underneath the rug. That's why it boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it is."
Let's be real. If the roles were reversed, and Caitlin had a shoe deal in the works for 2 years, but allowed the world to drag A'ja through the mud without stepping in to correct the record, she would be absolutely crucified. Articles would be written non-stop, and the talking heads would have a field day. But when A'ja does it, suddenly it's all smiles and, oh, she's just so humble. No, that's not humility. It's manipulation. A'ja allowed Caitlin to take all the heat, using it to fuel a sympathy campaign built on a lie.
Do you have any ideas what you would want your future sneaker to look like?
I think the biggest thing for me is just I would love a low top shoe. I play in a low top shoe, so that's something that I would love to have carry over, and something that looks good. That's so key to me. Like,
the truth is, A'ja Wilson could have ended this entire drama with just one tweet. Something as simple as, "My time is coming. Don't worry about me." That's all it would have taken. The mob would have calmed down and the attacks would have faded away. But she didn't say anything because staying silent worked in her favor. She allowed her fan base, and let's be honest, a significant portion of the WNBA media, to paint Caitlin Clark as the villain, the rookie stealing all the credit, while she played the part of the overlooked underdog. It was all a performance.
A'ja Wilson, who? Why? Yeah, she's some WNBA player, who? No, she's one of the all-time greatest players ever. Why?
And now that the shoe has finally dropped, literally, all those "How dare Nike." Warriors are scrambling to rewrite history. But here's the twist. The disrespect never came from Nike. It came from A'ja and the people around her who allowed the false narrative to spiral out of control. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, who's done nothing but elevate the league and attract millions of new fans, has had to take hits from all sides. On the court, on social media, from players, and even from legends. And through it all, she's kept her head down, letting her game do all the talking.
And these WNBA fans that did not want to see Caitlin Clark come in and do what she did, which was dominate the league. Led the league in assists as a rookie. After the season, I think I counted she broke something in the neighborhood of 63 records last year. Either rookie records or just flat records by anybody, not even a rookie. And all these fans have been mad. And all the while, A'ja Wilson sat back and was just plenty happy to play the victim. She could have come out and made some kind of a statement that would have called off the dogs.
Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson, who could have easily set the record straight at any point, chose silence. And that silence spoke louder than anything. It sent a clear message to her fan base. Go ahead, it said, let them believe I've been slighted. It said, let Caitlin take the heat. And that's what makes this whole saga so frustrating, because it's not just about shoes. It's about the way Caitlin Clark has been treated from the very start.
And so for Nike to put her in the position where she then has to go on social media and kind of cool her fans and like urge them to be patient and almost like defend Nike, it's such a disappointment, but it's not a surprise because Nike has done it before.
Instead of being embraced as the generational talent she is, Caitlin Clark faced jealousy and resistance. Not because she did anything wrong, but because she made the league too visible, too quickly. Her impact was undeniable, and instead of celebrating it, people tried to tear her down. A'ja Wilson could have been the bridge, the leader, the example, but she chose vibes over values.
How could they give Caitlin a shoe before they give A'ja one? Oh, how could they do this? How could they treat A'ja like this? Two-time MVP at the time, just before she even won the damn third one. They is wrong for doing this. You want to know?
And let's not act like the timing of that Super Bowl ad was just a coincidence. Nike ran a huge campaign celebrating female athletes and somehow forgot to include the most influential woman in basketball right now, Caitlin Clark. Clark, whose jersey sales shattered records. Clark, whose games led the league in viewership. Clark, who brought in fans who had never even cared about the WNBA before, but she was nowhere to be seen. Almost as if someone didn't want her in the spotlight, at least not for a little bit longer.
You want to know what I'm selling? I'm selling greatness! A'ja Wilson, 3-time MVP. We got Jordan Childs, we got Juju Watkins, we got Sha'Carri Richardson, and we got Arena Sabalenka.
Champion.
Hustling is not easy, but I love it. Sabrina! I know you want to cheat. Thinking about it? You're thinking about it. They're going to go fast. Kind of like Sha'Carri. I accept card. Where's the card? Come on.
Oh, wait, but what's in that box?
These don't come out till March. They may or may not be shirts, but if I tell you, I'm going to have to kill you. Oh, you want one of these? Nike.com. Who wants a t-shirt?
Nike really thought they could pull one over on us with that last-minute voiceover trick, as if we wouldn't notice. But fans are too sharp for that. We all saw it. It wasn't some editing accident, it was intentional. That awkward voiceover was essentially Nike saying, "We love the revenue she brings in, but let's keep her out of the spotlight." Subtle? Not even close.
My favorite thing of all. So let's take a listen to this. Let's take a listen to this. Nike actually put this one out after the fact.
You want to know what I'm selling? Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark. I know you want a tee.
Okay.
Nike.com.
They re-recorded it. Like, that's not even, I mean that. That's like, listen to it.
And how does that make any sense? We're talking about Caitlin Clark here, the woman who hasn't just moved the needle. She is the needle. She's bringing in NBA-sized crowds, skyrocketing TV ratings, and completely redefining what's possible for women's basketball. Yet somehow, the WNBA and some of its most established names keep treating her like just another player on the roster. They're quick to cash in on the wave she's created, but when it comes to acknowledging her impact, crickets, silence, maybe even a little side-eye.
Not looking good for Nike yet again, dog. I don't even know how many videos I'm gonna make today about Nike, but it looked like Nike is definitely the star of the day. All started with the Super Bowl commercial, them snubbing Caitlyn, them putting Caitlyn in, them fixing the commercial, them dropping Asia's shoe. Now, come to find out, Asia Wilson has single-handedly killed the WNBA media credibility forever. Yes, oh my goodness, these women was lying. Oh God almighty. They made such a big deal over Caitlin Clark getting a shoe deal over Asia.
Let's be real. Caitlin Clark should be the face of every WNBA campaign, every endorsement push, and every highlight reel. But instead of celebrating her success, the league has chosen to simply tolerate her presence. She's been treated like an outsider who stumbled into the party and is now outshining the hosts. And that cold shoulder? It's not just coming from execs or marketing departments, it's coming from the top players too. Enter Asia Wilson. Asia didn't need to be openly hostile. She didn't tweet anything nasty or start a public feud, but she also didn't do a thing when her fan base relentlessly went after Clark the moment Caitlin landed her Nike deal. Chaos erupted on social media, with people questioning Caitlin's worth, her resume, and her entire place in the league. Meanwhile, Asia just sat there, perfectly quiet, perfectly strategic, letting the storm rage on while sipping her tea in the background.
Apparently, there's a WNBA player named Asia Wilson. Apparently, she's pretty good. Caitlin Clark brings it down, goes twice between her legs, step back jack. Asia Wilson doesn't like that. Asia Wilson isn't smart enough to understand that everybody's going to get fat because of Caitlin Clark. Everybody won't get fat if they keep bringing up the ridiculous, idiotic, and tired old notion of racism.
Asia Wilson has ignited a blazing storm of drama, challenging Caitlin Clark in a manner that's capturing everyone's attention. Is this the fiercest rivalry in WNBA history? Asia Wilson, a three-time WNBA MVP, has been unstoppable on the court with astonishing stats and consecutive outstanding seasons. She's undeniably one of the league's greatest athletes. However, Asia isn't just letting her performance speak for itself. She's making her presence felt loudly and clearly off the court as well.
Asia Wilson, who bitch-whined and moaned and continues to bitch-whine and moan that Caitlin Clark is only popular because she's white, couldn't be more.
In a recent intense interview, Asia Wilson made some significant statements that are stirring up the basketball community. She didn't just challenge Caitlin Clark. She alluded to a more profound issue that's been simmering beneath the surface for some time. Caitlin Clark, the emerging star and generational talent, has dominated both college basketball and the WNBA spotlight. With her electrifying performances and bold attitude, she's become the center of attention. However, Asia isn't on board with this. Why is Caitlin Clark receiving all the attention? My achievements last season alone surpass her entire career. And if that wasn't enough, Asia went a step further by claiming that the primary reason Caitlin garners so much hype is because she's white.
Hey, look, we love Steph Curry as a black man because of how he plays. We don't give two craps about Steph Curry or Caitlin Clark being white, black, green, or purple. When in doubt, yell racism. And when in doubt, look stupid doing it. And the latest is this moron named A'ja Wilson.
A'ja Wilson has ignited a full-scale drama, publicly challenging Caitlin Clark in a way that's sparking widespread conversations. Could this be the most intense feud in WNBA history? A'ja Wilson, a three-time WNBA MVP, has been unstoppable on the court with impressive statistics and back-to-back stellar seasons. She's unquestionably one of the league's premier athletes. However, A'ja isn't just letting her on-court prowess speak for itself. She's making her stance known loudly and clearly off the court as well. A'ja didn't stop with Caitlin Clark. She also brought Paige Buchers into the conversation, with Paige set to join the WNBA soon. A'ja is already asserting that she's not getting the spotlight she deserves because she is a black woman. Her frustration seems to stem from feeling overlooked, questioning why her MVP seasons, record-breaking performances, and championships aren't making her the face of the league. But here's where things get wild. A'ja suggested that Caitlin Clark should face a lifetime ban for what she described as a lack of respect for the game and its pioneers. What does that even mean? The internet exploded. Fans are taking sides, with some agreeing that race plays a role in media narratives, while others believe A'ja is going too far. Here's what she had to say. I think it's a huge thing. A lot of people may say it's not about black or white, but to me, it is. It really is, because you can be top-notch at what you are as a black woman, but yet that's something that people don't want to see. They don't see it as marketable, so it doesn't matter how hard I work. It doesn't matter what we do as black women. We're still going to get swept underneath the rug. That's why it boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it really is. Players like Breanna Stewart and Diana Taurasi have reportedly weighed in. A'ja Wilson is the queen of the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark is box office. The debate over A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark isn't just about stats or accolades, it's about what defines greatness in the WNBA and who deserves the spotlight. Is this frustration rooted in jealousy and an inability to accept that Caitlin Clark has changed the game in ways A'ja never has? A'ja Wilson plays for the Las Vegas Aces, a team so stacked with talent that they could probably win games with half the roster. Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, and Jackie Young are not just supporting players, they're stars in their own right. With teammates like these, A'ja has the luxury of playing in a system that allows her to excel without carrying the entire load. In fact, if we're being honest, Kelsey Plum deserves more credit than she gets. Her playmaking, scoring, and ability to take over games make life significantly easier for A'ja. If Kelsey wasn't there to pick up the slack, would A'ja still be an MVP? That's debatable. It's worth noting that MVP stands for Most Valuable Player, not Best Player on a stacked team. Without Kelsey, A'ja's numbers and impact would likely shrink. So when A'ja claims she's the league's most valuable player, one has to wonder, valuable to whom? The Aces could probably still dominate without her, but the same cannot be said for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. While A'ja thrives in the league, Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA as the savior of a struggling franchise. The Indiana Fever had been floundering for years, a team barely making headlines and far from playoff contention. Then Caitlin arrived. In just 8 months, she turned a forgettable team into a playoff contender. Her presence forced her teammates to elevate their game, and her leadership has been nothing short of transformative. Unlike A'ja, Caitlin doesn't have the luxury of multiple all-stars sharing the load. She's the sole centerpiece, carrying the team on her back while navigating the immense pressure of being a rookie in the spotlight. A'ja might want to criticize Caitlin's recognition, but she hasn't faced the kind of uphill battle that Caitlyn has in her first season. One of Asia's loudest complaints is about the awards Caitlyn has received. While Asia is proud of her MVP title, it's clear that Caitlyn's recognition as WNBA Player of the Year and Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year has struck a nerve. These accolades highlight Caitlyn's unparalleled contributions to the game, both on and off the court. Here's the difference. Asia's MVP is tied to team success. Caitlyn's awards recognize her individual brilliance and the broader impact she's had on the league. The MVP award is often debated, but Player of the Year and Athlete of the Year make one thing clear. Caitlyn's influence transcends basketball. She's not just a great player, she's a cultural phenomenon.
There has been rumblings that basically, Kelsey Plum wanted to get the hell away from them. Meaning Becky Hammond and A'ja Wilson. And I'm here to tell you guys, it is looking like that way because none other than Kelsey Plum actually fired shots at the Las Vegas Aces in her opening press conference interview.
Could this be the end of the Las Vegas Aces dynasty, with 5-star players heading for the exit and controversy in the air? It definitely seems like it, but trust me, there's a lot more to this saga than you might think.
Now, we know throughout the offseason there has been a lot of chatter behind the scenes in regards to the Las Vegas Aces. The Las Vegas Aces team was completely derailed at the conclusion of the season, which leaving a lot of people to speculate what the hell is going on in Vegas.
Kelsey Plum has finally spoken out, and she's not holding anything back. In her first press conference with the LA Sparks, she didn't mince words about her old team. But this is just the beginning. Is A'ja Wilson really the one to blame for the mass exodus and the collapse? Did Coach Becky Hammond play a role, or is there a larger conspiracy at work? Let's dive in and unpack it all.
Just a question for Kelsey. You came from a place in Las Vegas that really valued player health and player experience. I'm just curious what it was about LA that convinced you that the Sparks would also provide a high quality player experience and amenities.
Imagine this. Kelsey Plum at the podium, LA Sparks jersey in hand. The tension in the air is palpable. Something doesn't feel right, and you can sense it. What's coming next?
I will say every step of the way, they have not just met but exceeded my expectations. And I've been treated better than I've ever been as a WNBA player. And I think that, at times, people have their own experiences, but I can speak for myself, and this has been first class.
At first, it's all smiles and gratitude, the typical press conference routine. But then, out of nowhere, Plum drops a bombshell that rocks the WNBA. I've been treated better than I ever have as a WNBA player. Hold up, what? Did she just take a dig at the Aces?
I know that this franchise is extremely valuing the opportunity to be able to support players in any way that they can. And I've seen that firsthand. And, obviously as the franchise, we continue to build on this year, and there's been a lot of change in the last couple years with coach and management and things like that. I'm excited to be part of the new wave, and we'll be able to show players that this is a place where LA you want to play.
Let's dive into this. Plum's been with the Aces for years. She's got championships under her belt with them, and in her last season, she averaged 17.8 points, 4.2 assists, and 2.6 rebounds per game. She was drafted by them. It's the only team she's ever known. Everything seemed fine, so why is she suddenly suggesting she wasn't treated well? What's really going on in Las Vegas? We'll break it all down shortly.
I've been treated better than I ever have been as a WNBA player. Now, that is the comment there that is raising eyebrows amongst fans in regards to Kelsey Plum, stating that she's been treated better so far than she has ever been as a WNBA player.
Here's where things get really interesting. Plum's comments aren't just about her experience in LA. They offer a glimpse into what's been happening behind the scenes in the Aces locker room. Remember when the Aces were untouchable, sitting at the top? Turns out, that picture-perfect image might have been nothing more than a mirage.
You know, for someone like me, it's just a perfect mix of preparation and opportunity. You know, I've been chomping at the bit to get the opportunity to be able to lead and show, you know, who I am as a player on a different scale. And so I'm just really excited about that. And I've never been more ready. And, you know, I think some people might be surprised, but no one that really knows will be.
But Plum's not finished yet. She goes on about the excitement for her new role, the chance to make a bigger impact. Is she hinting that she couldn't do that with the Aces?
She said it's always been leading by example, a level of consistency as a pro these days. We get caught up in how we feel. It doesn't matter how you feel as a leader. You got to show up and lead. There's a level of competitiveness that has to be consistent every day. It's a culture. Other than that, just having fun. We all play better and enjoy ourselves when we're doing what we love to do. She's definitely sending subliminals back to Vegas, bro.
The reactions on social media have been absolutely crazy. Some fans are calling out Aces management, while others are hyped for Plum's fresh start with the Sparks. One fan even said Kelsey can finally focus on her own game without constantly bringing up how someone won unanimous MVP. Ouch. Talk about a direct shot at A'ja Wilson.
I just feel like an overwhelming sense of love, you know, I feel like open arms. I was actually in the airport this morning and I was just getting some water and the guy was like, "Go Sparks!" You know, it's just, I feel that. So I'm excited about that because I really do feel like people have kind of already wrapped their arms around me. I haven't even played a game yet. Just the welcoming of my teammates and coach and Reagan and ownership, I feel very loved already.
Think about it. Plum's move to the Sparks isn't just about switching jerseys. It's a total career shift. She's looking to redefine her role, her influence. It's like she's breaking free from something. But what? Keep in mind, Plum's not just any player. She's an Olympic gold medalist, a WNBA champion. When someone of her caliber says she needs a bigger platform to showcase who she is, it's not just talk, it's a statement.
And I'm so grateful to be reunited with Dee, to play with people like Cam and Rakia, and I could continue to go on the list.
Here's the truth. Plum's words aren't just about her. They're turning the spotlight on the Aces organization. What's really happening behind those Vegas lights? Are players feeling overlooked, confined? Plum's comments have set things in motion, and the implosion is already underway.
We're here to compete, so there's expectations to win right away. And I know for me, there is a level of intensity and work ethic that I do bring to the table, but really just I'm grateful for this opportunity to show that being one of the best players in the world and just taking this franchise back to where it's been and where it will continue to go. So again, I just want to thank ownership support, and really just means a lot that everyone's here, and it's a new day in LA, so we're gonna hoop.
Remember when the Aces were the team everyone dreamed of joining? When players were willing to take pay cuts just for a shot at that championship ring? Well, those days are behind us. The Aces empire is collapsing faster than a house of cards in a Vegas windstorm, and you won't believe who's next to jump ship.
So, for all Aces fans, it's over. It's over. It's over. The reign of the Aces is over. I understand the shortest dynasty in the history of the sport of basketball. You know, I've never heard of a dynasty that won 2 championships and then was done, because you're seeing all the ring-chasing free agents getting out of Vegas.
After their stunning semifinals loss, Coach Becky Hammond warned us that changes were on the horizon, but no one saw this coming. It's not just 1 or 2 players leaving, it's a full-on exodus. And now the Aces roster is looking like Swiss cheese.
We have to get better. We have to really take a sharp look at ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror, see our shortcomings, and then, you know, you got to make the moves necessary, whatever that means, to put the best product that we possibly can. It's not going to be the same group probably next year. It just won't. And I'm sad about that because I really like that group. They're a pain in my ass but I was a pain in the ass too.
Let's kick things off with Kate Martin. Remember her? The fan favorite? The bright young star who had Aces fans buzzing about a promising future? Well, the Aces left her unprotected in the expansion draft, and the Golden State Valkyries scooped her up faster than you can say rookie mistake. Martin's fired up about her new role, saying, "I'm really excited for this new beginning and to build something from the ground up here with the Valkyries." Ouch. Aces? That's gotta hurt.
I'm really excited. This league is all about opportunity, and, you just need one shot, right? And I am very thankful for the Aces and everything I got to learn there, but I'm really excited for this new beginning and to build something from the ground up here with the Valkyries.
But hold up, there's more. Sydney Colson, Wilson's bestie and the locker room spark plug, is packing her bags for Indiana. That's right, Colson's heading to the Fever, leaving Wilson without her ride or die on the court. It's like watching the Aces team chemistry vanish right before our eyes.
You mean to tell me that two-time WNBA champion, the face of the God Dog League, okay? The Aces' main girl, right-hand man, Sydney Colson, is no longer returning to the Aces and is signing with the Indiana Fever? First of all, do the Fever even have any more roster spots open? How many folks are you guys going to sign?
And if you thought that was rough, buckle up. Tiffany Hayes, the reigning WNBA 6th Player of the Year, is also bidding farewell to Sin City. She's joining Kate Martin on the Valkyries, taking her 9.5 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game with her. That's a huge blow to the Aces bench depth, folks.
Then, of course, there is Tiffany Hayes, who, guys, Tiffany Hayes was not even supposed to be in the WNBA last season. She had actually retired in the offseason of 2024.
But hold up, we're not done yet. Alicia Clark, fresh off a championship with the Aces, is heading back to her old stomping grounds in Seattle. She's pumped about the move, saying, "I would love to go back to my WNBA home, which is Seattle." And just like that, another one bites the dust for the Aces.
Let's start with Alicia Clark. According to Ramona Shelburne of ESPN, the Aces wanted to bring back Alicia Clark. But when Seattle came a-knocking, Alicia was like, you know what? I would love to go back to my WNBA home, which is Seattle. Now, guys, if y'all don't know, Alicia Clark won 2 titles with the Seattle Storm in 2018 and 2020. And now at 37 years old, she is looking to bring her 3-and-D game back to Seattle.
So what's behind all these players heading for the exit? Is it the allure of fresh opportunities? Or is something off in Las Vegas? Here's where it gets juicy. The Aces' salary cap is tighter than a Vegas poker player's grip on their chips. After locking down Jewel Lloyd and her supermax salary, the Aces are scrambling to round out their roster with minimum contracts. It's like watching a high-stakes game of musical chairs, and the Aces are running out of time.
I don't want to be great for you guys, no offense, but I want to be great for my team. I want to be great for this franchise. It is hard as shit. It is hard as shit because there's tons of people that want to break you down. Great teams in this league that are going to try to come after you every single night. But when it comes to taking accountability, I have no problem in that because I want to be great. I want to be great for my teammates. So yes, it can start in practice. Yes, it starts in training camp. Yes, it starts in the wins and the losses. But I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue to challenge myself and my teammates every single day. Because when you're talking about greatness, it starts with consistency.
Let's dive into what's really going on behind the scenes with the Aces. Thought the player exodus was bad? Buckle up, because the front office drama makes their on-court struggles look like child's play. Remember when the Aces front office was the envy of the league? Those days are long gone. Now, it's more like a ghost town. And at the heart of this mess is general manager Natalie Williams. Or should I say, former general manager? That's right. Williams was let go after a vague restructuring. But here's the kicker. Months later, the Aces still haven't named a new GM. Talk about leaving your organization in limbo.
But also, there is a huge thing that you all have to keep in mind is that the Las Vegas Aces do not have a GM right now. They let go of their GM a couple months ago, and they have not put anyone in that place. And so, hey, Nikki Fargas and Becky Hammond are trying to make some wonders without an actual GM.
But hold on, there's more. Rumors are flying that head coach Becky Hammond is making a power play. She's eyeing a dual role as both head coach and GM. Sound familiar? It's the same setup as her former boss, Greg Popovich. But let's be real. Is consolidating that much power smart when your house is already burning? And speaking of Hammond, don't forget that suspension for violating the league's respect in the workplace policy. Not exactly great for the Aces' image, but that's just the start.
What is going on in their locker room? Like, this Aces team is falling apart. This is not a coach that I would want to play for.
And let's not forget about the De'Erica Hamby lawsuit. The former Aces player is claiming discrimination and unfair treatment during her pregnancy. And this isn't just some petty accusation. The league took it seriously enough to hit the Aces with a $500,000 fine and strip them of their 2025 first-round draft pick. Ouch.
Top of that, the league is investigating the Aces for potential salary cap circumvention. Back in May, the Las Vegas Convention Authority gave each of the players an additional $100,000 to basically be active in the community.
Now, the league's digging into the Aces for possible salary cap circumvention. They're investigating undisclosed benefits given to players. Basically, the Aces are accused of sliding extra perks under the table. Not exactly the kind of attention you want when you're trying to build a dynasty, right? With all this drama, is it any surprise players are bolting? The Aces have gone from the team everyone wanted to join to the team everyone's scrambling to leave.
Breaking news came down, so we have to discuss it. This is what we do here. We're talking about the Indiana Fever making yet another move, Alicia, because they're Thanos right now and they're collecting all the Infinity Stones.
While the Aces are stuck in roster chaos, the Indiana Fever are making waves. Once the league's punching bag, they've turned into the talk of the town, assembling a powerhouse team around their superstar, Caitlin Clark. With stars like Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, and veteran additions like Natasha Howard and DeWanna Bonner, the Fever are on the rise. What's more impressive? These players chose the Fever. In one offseason, they've gone from bottom dwellers to contenders, and it's a slap in the face to those who doubted them. While the Aces are drowning in drama, the Fever are showing how it's done. Imagine what should have been a landmark celebration for A'ja Wilson, a night of honor and triumph, turning into a whirlwind of anger and frustration. Instead of basking in well-deserved accolades, Wilson finds herself stewing not over being overlooked, but because Caitlin Clark is hogging the spotlight. While Wilson's jersey retirement struggles to sell out, Clark's event boasts seats that command prices north of $11,000. This begs the question, is Wilson's discontent warranted, or is it merely a shadow of envy? Let's delve into the reasons behind the muted buzz around Wilson's legacy and explore why Clark currently reigns as the undeniable marquee name. A'ja Wilson's jersey retirement was meant to be a jubilant tribute, a salute to her stellar impact on South Carolina basketball and her commanding presence in the WNBA. Yet instead of reveling in this well-earned honor, she's left feeling not just frustrated, but outright furious. And it's not due to any misstep by South Carolina or an internal blunder. It's because Caitlin Clark is stealing. Anger isn't aimed at the jersey retirement itself. It's aimed at what it symbolizes. She's noticing the stark reality. Tickets going for as little as $16 and still failing to sell out. Instead of being the grand celebration it should be, her ceremony is falling woefully short of the fanfare it deserves. Then she turns her gaze to Iowa, where Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement has ballooned into a blockbuster event, with tickets fetching over $11,000. Fans are scrambling for seats, and the buzz is undeniable. That stark contrast stings. Wilson has long been hailed as one of the premier faces of women's basketball. With a resume boasting MVP awards, championships, and even an Olympic gold medal, she's no stranger to accolades. South Carolina has gone so far as to immortalize her with a statue, an honor few athletes ever receive. And yet, when it comes to the buzz surrounding her jersey retirement, the numbers speak for themselves. Fan interest is lackluster. Wilson might claim the timing is off, or argue that Caitlin Clark is unfairly hogging the media spotlight. But at the end of the day, the reality remains unchanged. Caitlin Clark has become the bigger star, a fact Wilson struggles to accept. This isn't a debate about WNBA triumphs versus college success, or a contest of who has a more decorated career. It's about who truly captivates the audience. Right now, Clark is the catalyst for growing interest in women's basketball, while Wilson, despite her impressive achievements, seems to be fading into the background. Wilson's discontent didn't emerge overnight with this jersey retirement debacle. For years, she's been vocal about the broader issues plaguing the WNBA and women's sports in general, lamenting disparities in pay, viewership, and sponsorship. To a degree, her concerns are justified. Women's sports have historically battled for mainstream recognition, but then along came Caitlin Clark, reshaping the narrative entirely. Clark's games are consistently selling out arenas, her performances are smashing TV ratings, and she's drawing enormous crowds wherever she goes. More than just a skilled player, Clark is a bona fide entertainment powerhouse. Even those who wouldn't normally tune in to women's basketball find themselves captivated by her presence. Her unprecedented media attention underscores her appeal, a stark contrast to Wilson, who finds herself wondering why her legacy isn't eliciting the same level of adoration. Despite her championships and WNBA dominance, Wilson is being sidelined in the race for fan love. The key difference? Clark has an innate ability to connect with people, a magnetic charm that goes beyond raw talent. Wilson undoubtedly has elite skills, but Clark's energy, passion, and relatability make the game feel more inviting. Instead of exuding a chip-on-the-shoulder demeanor that can alienate casual fans, Clark's charisma draws them in, making them feel like they're part of something much larger. In contrast, Wilson's intensity often translates into a sense of entitlement, which can inadvertently push fans away rather than win them over. A clear reflection of this divide can be seen in how both jersey retirements are being celebrated. Clark's event is nothing short of a historic spectacle, with fans clamoring for tickets and willing to pay sky-high prices. Wilson's ceremony, however, seems to be ticking off an obligation rather than igniting a movement. It's not a case of media bias or orchestrated favoritism. This is purely a reflection of where fan interest lies. The crowd is choosing their heroes, and at this moment, they've placed their bets on Clark. Wilson's frustration is palpable as she watches her moment being overshadowed, witnessing the undeniable disparity in demand. Deep down, she's aware that Clark isn't just a fleeting phenomenon. She's the future face of women's basketball. Despite the WNBA's efforts over the years to spotlight Wilson, backed by the league, the media, and industry giants, the excitement simply isn't there. Meanwhile, Clark has effortlessly built her own following, and that organic appeal is something Wilson can't ignore. Instead of letting bitterness fester, perhaps Wilson should take a page from Clark's playbook. She might ask herself how to forge a stronger connection with fans, how to become more accessible and engaging both on and off the court. Basketball isn't solely about statistics and accolades. It's about creating an emotional resonance with the audience. And right now, the difference between the two women is like night and day. While Clark eagerly embraces her role in the spotlight, Wilson appears to resent being deprived of what she believes is rightfully hers. Wilson has undoubtedly earned respect through championships and individual honors. Yet, the love of the casual fan has eluded her. This is why the treatment of their respective jersey retirements couldn't be more different. While Wilson's frustration is understandable, the blame ultimately lies with her. If she aspires to be remembered among the all-time greats, she must realize that true legacy in basketball comes from forging a genuine connection with fans. A connection that, at the moment, belongs to Caitlin Clark.